The entire entertainment world has just been punched in the throat, because what erupted inside an Atlanta courtroom today wasn't a hearing, it was a detonation. Cameras weren't even supposed to be rolling. But the moment Bambi opened her mouth, the moment her voice cracked and the judge's face turned stone cold, the universe shifted. In one breath, she went from reality TV royalty to the most talked about arrest of the year. And when the bailiff snapped those handcuffs around her wrists, every reporter in the room gasped like they were watching a season finale filmed in hell. But here's the part no one was ready for. The meltdown didn't start with tears. It started with a flash drive. 15 minutes before Bambi's outburst, the judge walked back into the courtroom holding a tiny silver USB, a device reportedly handed to him by Stevie J himself. And whatever was on that drive didn't just expose a lie, it obliterated an entire storyline. The moment the audio played Bambi's voice, crystal clear, confessing she was never pregnant and just needed leverage, the courtroom transformed. Scrappy froze. Mama D nearly fainted. Stevie leaned back with a smirk so sinister it could have been scripted. The judge didn't yell. He didn't negotiate. He simply said one sentence that sent shockwaves through the building. "Bailiff, take her into custody." And that was before Stevie J dropped the dirty secret that blew this scandal into another dimension. Because this wasn't just a lie. This was a conspiracy, and it's only getting darker from here. From the moment Bambi stepped into that courtroom, everyone felt it, that eerie, electric pressure that only shows up before something catastrophic happens. She walked in wearing confidence like armor, chin high, lashes perfect, outfit sharp enough to slice through tension. But beneath the glam, there was a tremble in her step, a crack in the mask. The kind of crack only someone hiding something enormous can feel spreading beneath their skin. Scrappy was already inside, pacing like a man walking the cliff's edge of a nervous breakdown. He kept wiping his palms on his jeans, glancing at the door every few seconds like he couldn't believe today was real. Like he was waiting for Bambi to run. Or confess. Or explode. No one knew which one would happen first. But no one, not Scrappy, not the lawyers, not even the judge, expected Stevie J to show up. He didn't walk in quietly. Of course not. Stevie entered with that dangerous swagger he only uses when he knows something no one else in the room knows. He sauntered to a seat in the back, slid off his sunglasses, and flashed a smile so smug it could have started a riot. People in the gallery whispered. Reporters stiffened. Even Scrappy froze mid-step. "What is he doing here?" someone hissed. And Stevie didn't answer. He just leaned back like he was front row at a theater waiting for the opening act. The judge entered. Order was called. Paperwork shuffled. Lawyers rose. It felt routine, almost calm. Then the judge said something that turned the calm into a loaded gun. "Before we proceed, I have received new digital evidence, submitted anonymously." Stevie's grin widened. Bambi blinked, confused. The judge lifted a silver flash drive, sleek, tiny, deadly. The courtroom collectively inhaled. "This device," the judge continued, tapping it lightly against the bench, "contains a voice recording relevant to Miss Richardson's testimony." Bambi's heart visibly stuttered. Scrappy stopped breathing. Stevie folded his arms, satisfied. The judge inserted the drive. The speakers crackled. Then, her voice filled the room. Clear, sharp, unmistakably Bambi. "Girl, I was never pregnant. I just needed ammo." Scrappy had to cough up somehow. The room erupted like a grenade dropped into a crowd. A woman screamed. Scrappy dropped his pen. Mama D shouted a curse that shook the hallway. But Bambi stood frozen, eyes wide, lips parted, like she had just watched her entire life detonate in slow motion. That's not me," she stammered, voice cracking, hands trembling. But it was too late. The judge replayed the recording louder this time. Clearer, undeniable. "I just need the judge to eat out of my palm. Once the check drops, I'll cry on cue." On cue. Those two words sent a shockwave across the entertainment world. Queens on Twitter went feral. Bloggers started drafting headlines mid-hearing. Every cameraman outside sensed this moment like vultures circling flame. But inside the courtroom, chaos erupted. Scrappy stood up so fast his chair toppled over, clattering across the floor. "You lied to me?" he shouted, voice breaking, fury boiling beneath heartbreak. Bambi spun toward him, tears pouring. "Scrappy, listen, it's not what you think." But Scrappy wasn't listening anymore. He wasn't even looking at her. He was staring at the judge, eyes full of betrayal so deep it could drown. And the judge? He had heard enough. "Bailiff," he said calmly, "place Miss Richardson into immediate custody pending perjury and fraud review." The bailiff moved fast, too fast. "No. No. Wait! Bambi screamed as cold metal clamped around her wrists. She thrashed, sobbed, begged, cursed. Cameras flashed. Court officers rushed in. Reporters surged against the glass windows. Scrappy turned away. Mama D clapped once loud, harsh, cutting like the final punctuation on a war she always knew was coming. And Stevie? Stevie leaned back and smirked. But the real explosion hadn't even started yet, because the judge wasn't finished. "The recording continues," he said. "There is more. More." The word hit Bambi like a bullet. Stevie's grin didn't just widen, it sharpened. The judge pressed play. A second voice entered the audio. A woman. Crying. "I didn't know he'd use my sonogram," she said between sobs. And then, Stevie's voice. Cold. Commanding. Damning. "No one will know it's fake. Sign the form. You'll get $10,000 and a plane ticket. Now shut up." The courtroom combusted. Gasps, screams, someone fainted. Mama D climbed onto a bench before security yanked her down. Scrappy punched the railing. Lawyers shouted over each other. Reporters nearly shattered the door, trying to rush inside. But Bambi? Bambi collapsed. Her knees buckled. Her body shook as the bailiff held her upright. Her mascara streaked down her cheeks like ink leaking from truth itself. She tried to speak but only choked, sobs came out. Because the truth was out. Not only did Bambi fake a pregnancy, not only did she lie under oath, but she did it using another woman's ultrasound, with Stevie J funding the entire scheme. The judge slammed his gavel. "Order! Order now!" But order was gone. This wasn't a courtroom anymore. It was a battlefield. Scrappy stared at Stevie with a hatred so deep security shifted closer. "You set me up," Scrappy snarled. Stevie shrugged. "Business is business." "Business? You ruined my life." Stevie leaned forward, unbothered. "No, Bambi did that." The judge demanded silence again, threatening to clear the room, but no one was listening. The world had exploded too loud. Then, as officers dragged Bambi toward the exit, she snapped. "It wasn't supposed to go this far. It wasn't supposed to." "Be recorded?" the judge said coldly. She froze. And that was the moment reporters outside caught the first footage. Bambi, sobbing, handcuffed, makeup streaked, screaming accusations, as officers hauled her through a mob of flashing cameras. But one detail nearly broke the internet. As she was shoved into the squad car, she turned back and pointed at someone in the courtroom doorway. Not Scrappy. Not Stevie. Someone else. Someone no one expected. And she shouted, "You promised you'd protect me." Every camera whipped around. Every reporter gasped. Because the man standing there was a VH1 executive. And he wasn't smiling. He was sweating. Badly. The courtroom froze. The gallery whispered. The internet ignited, in real time. The executive bolted. Stevie smirked again. Scrappy went pale. And the judge issued a single chilling statement. "This court will now investigate who else was involved." Then he added the line that broke the world. "And be advised, another recording has surfaced." Another recording. With names. And signatures. And a dirty secret Stevie hadn't even revealed yet. The cliffhanger hit like a meteor. And the next session threatened to expose a conspiracy deeper than anyone imagined. The courthouse felt different the next morning. Not tense, not chaotic. Something worse. Something heavier. Like the air itself knew that whatever was coming would make yesterday look like a warm-up round. Reporters camped outside before sunrise. Fans lined the sidewalks holding homemade signs. TikTokers were live streaming from lawn chairs. And every single person in Atlanta seemed to be whispering the same question. Who was Bambi pointing at? Because that VH1 executive, the one she claimed promised protection, had vanished. No statements, no denials, not even a sighting. The network issued a vague corporate response about ongoing legal review, but everyone knew what that meant. Panic. Inside the courthouse, Scrappy looked like a man who hadn't slept in days. His eyes were red, his hands trembling, his jaw clenched so tightly it looked painful. Mama D was pacing behind him like a general preparing for war. Meanwhile, Stevie J strolled in late, wearing a fresh outfit, sipping iced coffee like he wasn't at the center of one of the biggest courtroom scandals in reality TV history. He winked at the cameras. Of course he did. But Chrissy, Erica, Mimi, Carly, all the love and hip-hop veterans were online watching this unfold like fans at a pay-per-view event. Some posted cryptic messages. Some posted shady laughs. But every single one of them was tuned in. Then the judge entered. The room snapped into silence. "We have received additional recordings," the judge announced. Voice firm, controlled, ominous. "They contain information implicating multiple parties in the fabrication of pregnancy-related evidence." Everyone leaned forward. Stevie stopped sipping. Scrappy's breathing faltered. The judge continued. "Today, we will review Exhibit G." A hush dropped so hard it rattled the back row. The projector flickered to life. The screen displayed a phone screen and iMessage thread. At the top, Bambi. Below, VH1 exec M. Scrappy whispered, "No, no," under his breath. The judge read the first message aloud. "We need a storyline. Scrappy's custody arc isn't testing well. Bambi, what do you want from me? A pregnancy bumps ratings every time. Bambi, I can't get pregnant right now." "Then make him think you are. Only until mid-season." Gasps filled every corner of the room like a bomb going off. Mama D screamed, "I knew it! I knew it from day one!" and had to be physically sat back down. The messages continued. "Bambi, what about doctor records? We'll produce them. Just stick to the script. Bambi, and if Scrappy asks questions? Cry. He shuts down when you cry. Bambi, what if the test happens? It won't. Not if Stevie takes care of the ultrasound." Stevie froze. The entire gallery turned toward him like predators spotting prey. But the judge wasn't done. Another recording. Audio this time. The courtroom speakers crackled, then played a conversation recorded in a car, possibly Bambi's, given the background engine hum. Her voice? Frantic. "What if the judge asks for proof?" A man replied, "Not Stevie. Not Scrappy. Not the VH1 exec. Someone even worse. Someone the internet has spent years accusing of manipulating storylines. A high-ranking love and hip-hop producer." His voice was unmistakable. "Just blame Scrappy. Say he stresses you too much to carry. Audiences eat that up. And if you need emotional support on camera, cry to Stevie. Ratings gold." Stevie's smirk evaporated. Scrappy's entire body stiffened. Mama D almost fainted backward into the pew. The judge paused the audio. "We have verified this voice as belonging to producer Lay. He is now under investigation." The room erupted in chaos. Fans outside screamed as the update hit their phones. Inside, reporters typed so fast their keyboards clacked like fireworks. But it wasn't over. "Oh my God," someone whispered as the next clip loaded. This one wasn't audio. It was video. A grainy clip recorded inside a luxury high-rise, the same building where Stevie J allegedly filmed the woman whose ultrasound Bambi used. The camera showed a pregnant woman, stressed, crying, pacing. Then Stevie entered the frame, holding papers. "The network will wire you 10 grand, Stevie said, voice steady, professional, almost rehearsed. "Just sign the release. No one will know it's you. We'll blur the face if necessary." The woman asked, "And Bambi?" Stevie sighed. "She'll say what we tell her to say. She wants this storyline more than anyone." The clip ended. Dead silence. Then chaos erupted like a tidal wave. Stevie jumped to his feet, pointing at the screen. "That's out of context. That's old. That's—" "Sit down, Mr. Jordan," the judge ordered. Stevie sat. But he didn't look confident anymore. He looked trapped. The judge turned to Scrappy. "Mr. Richardson, based on the evidence, you may be entitled to full reimbursement of all funds paid under fraudulent claims." Scrappy didn't react. He didn't care about the money. He cared about the betrayal. His voice broke as he whispered, "How could you do this to me, Bam?" But Bambi wasn't there to answer. She was sitting in a holding cell downstairs, sobbing, screaming, shaking, begging to speak to Scrappy, to her lawyer, to anyone who would listen. But upstairs, the revelations kept coming. Because the judge had one more file to reveal. A sealed envelope, marked, "Top priority court only." He opened it. Inside was a second flash drive. "This," the judge said, "is the additional recording referenced yesterday." Everyone leaned forward. The judge pressed play. Another phone recording. Another voice. Male. Confident. Arrogant. Familiar. Stevie J. He was talking to the VH1 executive. "We'll drag Scrappy for a whole season," Stevie said, chuckling. "Then, halfway through, we drop the miscarriage arc. Viewers will cry. Ratings go up. Everybody wins." The exec replied, "And the ultrasound?" "Handled," Stevie said. "And the girl won't talk once she gets paid." The audio cut. Stevie's face drained. Scrappy rose slowly, fists clenched. Breathing heavy, security stepped closer. The judge slammed the gavel. "This is now a multi-party criminal investigation," he announced. "And subpoenas will be issued immediately." Reporters rushed out like soldiers in a war zone. Scrappy stared at Stevie with pure devastation. Finally he whispered, voice cracking, "You did all this for ratings?" Stevie didn't answer. Couldn't answer. Because the judge wasn't finished. He had one last statement for the room. "And be advised, we have received confirmation that yet another recording exists." He paused. "The next tape names the mastermind behind the entire pregnancy hoax." The gallery gasped. Scrappy collapsed into his chair. Mama D whispered a prayer. Stevie swallowed hard. And in her holding cell downstairs, Bambi began screaming for a lawyer. Because the next recording, it didn't just name the mastermind, it exposed them. And the fallout would be catastrophic. The courthouse should have been calm by the third day, but instead it felt radioactive. Reporters were practically climbing over each other. Fans were chanting outside like they were waiting for a championship fight. Even court staff looked nervous, whispering, sweating, checking their phones every 2 minutes, because everyone knew the truth. Today, the mastermind would be exposed. Rumors were spreading like wildfire. Some said it was Stevie. Some said it was Bambi's best friend. Some said it was a producer so powerful, even the judge was scared to say the name out loud. But one thing was certain, the next recording was the most dangerous piece of evidence yet. The courtroom filled fast. Scrappy walked in looking hollowed out, as if the last 72 hours had sucked the life out of him. Mama D was right behind him, muttering prayers, curses, and threats all in one breath. Stevie entered with fake confidence, shoulders back, chin up, but his eyes kept darting toward the exit. He was scared. Really scared. And for once, he had every reason to be. The judge entered. No opening remarks, no small talk, no wasted seconds. Court is now in session. Today we address the final recording. A ripple shot through the room. Stevie swallowed hard. Scrappy flinched. Mama D whispered, "Lord, expose 'em all." The judge lifted a black USB drive different from the previous ones. He held it with 2 fingers like it was radioactive. "This device," the judge said, "was turned in anonymously with a sworn affidavit. It contains the identity of the party who orchestrated the pregnancy hoax." The room went dead silent. The judge plugged it in. The speakers hissed. A voice began speaking, not Bambi's, not Stevie's, not the producer's. A woman. Calm. Smooth. Calculated. The gallery leaned forward. Bambi's voice trembled from the holding cell feed. No, no, God, no. Turn it off. But it was too late. The voice continued. I told her exactly what to do. I told her Scrappy was weak. I told her a pregnancy would give her leverage. I told her if she wanted to survive the season, she needed a storyline that stuck. Scrappy froze. That's not Bam, he whispered. The judge turned up the volume. The voice got clearer. I told her viewers love a comeback story. I told her a miscarriage could flip her into a sympathy favorite. I told her to let Stevie handle the rest. Stevie buried his face in his hands. Mama D shot to her feet. I know that voice. I know exactly who that is. The courtroom erupted. The judge slammed his gavel. Order! But the audio wasn't finished. And the best part? The voice said, laughing softly. Scrappy will never know it was me who told her to lie. He'll blame her, not me. Scrappy's whole body locked up. He whispered the name. Erica? Suddenly, the courtroom door swung open. A woman stepped inside. Blonde wig, oversized sunglasses, hood up, head down. Gasp. No way. No way. There was no way. But there she was. Erica Dixon. The gallery lost its mind. Security blocked fans from rushing in. Papers flew. Reporters screamed. Cameras flashed like lightning. Scrappy felt the blood drain from his face. Erica, tell me that's not you. Tell me that's not you. But the audio kept playing, sealing her fate. I'll make Scrappy pay. Whether it's through Bambi, through court, or through the show, he's going to feel it. Erica looked up, eyes cold and unbothered. Yes, she said. It's me. Pandemonium. Mama D tried to vault the bench. Security grabbed her midair. Scrappy collapsed into his seat, tears in his eyes. Stevie nearly bolted for the exit before deputies cornered him. Phones recording everywhere. Court staff screaming for order. Chaos ripping the building in pieces. But the judge wasn't done. Miss Dixon, he said, are you admitting involvement in orchestrating this fraudulent scheme? Erica smirked, not guilty, not ashamed, not even afraid. Absolutely. And I'd do it again. Gasps. Screams. Someone fainted. Multiple people were crying. One woman live streaming whispered, reality TV has finally killed reality. Erica stepped forward. You think Bambi planned this alone? She said. Please. She couldn't lie her way out of a paper bag without coaching. I handed her the blueprint, the strategy, the emotional beats. I taught her how to perform. I told her when to cry. I told her how to control Scrappy. Scrappy's voice cracked. Why? Why would you do this to me? To our family? To your own daughter? Erica didn't blink. You humiliated me on TV for years, she said. I didn't forget. I didn't forgive. So I made you feel it. The judge stared at her like she was a villain from a psychological thriller. Miss Dixon, he said. You have just confessed to conspiracy, fraud, and emotional coercion. Erica shrugged. And? The judge signaled deputies. Take her into custody. The gallery erupted. Scrappy jumped up. No, don't take her. I just want the truth. Mama D screamed. Lock her up. Stevie muttered. Damn, I knew she was wild, but this? Erica, escorted toward the door in handcuffs, leaned close to Scrappy and whispered, You think this ends with me? You think this was just my idea? Sweetheart, the real mastermind ain't even in the room yet. Scrappy stumbled backward. Stevie's eyes widened. Mama D clutched her chest. The judge demanded to know who she meant. But Erica only smirked the kind of smirk that births 1,000 conspiracy threads. Deputies dragged her out of the courtroom. But the recording still wasn't finished. The final 5 seconds played a man's voice. A voice everyone recognized. A voice that made the entire courtroom gasp in horror. Stevie nearly fainted. Scrappy grabbed the railing. Mama D screamed, Oh hell no! Because the voice said, She'll take the fall. She won't expose me. Nobody ever will. The judge replayed it. Everyone listened again. There was no mistaking it. The mastermind behind the entire pregnancy hoax. The mastermind who coached Erica, who paid the ultrasound girl, who fed the storyline to production, who manipulated Scrappy and Bambi, was a man. A powerful man. A man everyone trusted. The courtroom froze as the voice echoed. I run this show. I decide the storylines. The deputies looked shaken. Reporters typed with trembling fingers. Scrappy whispered the name like a curse. Mona Scott's EP? Stevie whispered. Producer L wasn't the mastermind, he was the middleman. The judge leaned forward. Identified this voice. The technician swallowed hard. This is the executive producer of Love and Hip Hop. Silence. Then an explosion of screams. The scandal had officially become bigger than Bambi, bigger than Stevie, bigger than Erica, bigger than Scrappy. This was a conspiracy at the top of the industry. The courtroom was evacuated for safety. Security locked the building. Fans outside broke through barricades. And in the chaos, Bambi, still in custody, screamed from downstairs. He made me do it. I never wanted any of this. Her voice echoed through the vents. And as the building shook with panic, a marshal ran upstairs yelling, Your Honor, another tape just surfaced. Another tape. With names, dates, payouts, receipts. And the final line of the email attached said, If this leaks, the entire franchise collapses. The judge turned pale. Scrappy whispered a prayer. Stevie looked ready to throw up. Mama D fainted into someone's arms. And the internet, already melting, prepared for the biggest reveal yet. Because the next recording wouldn't just expose the mastermind, it would expose the entire system. And bring down everything with it. Before you click away, listen closely, because what you just heard is only the beginning of a collapse the entertainment world has never seen before. We are watching the destruction of an entire reality TV empire unfold in real time. Arrests, leaked recordings, confessions, betrayals, and a mastermind hiding in the shadows who has yet to be dragged into the light. And the next tape, the one the marshal ran upstairs with, the one the judge turned pale over? That recording hasn't even hit the internet yet. When it does, everything you think you know about Bambi, Stevie, Erica, Scrappy, and the entire Love and Hip Hop machine will be rewritten in a single explosive moment. So if you've been hooked, if your jaw dropped even once, if you felt that chill in your spine when the mastermind's voice played, then you cannot afford to miss what happens next. Hit that like button right now so this investigation pushes deeper, faster, louder. Drop your theories in the comments. Who do you think signed off on the scam? Who benefited? Who's still hiding behind NDAs and spin-off checks? And most importantly, subscribe and turn on notifications immediately. Because the next leak could drop at 3 p.m. midnight. Or right in the middle of your lunch break. And when it does, you need to be here first. This scandal isn't slowing down. It's accelerating. Don't blink. Don't look away. The next reveal could end careers and you'll want a front row seat when it hits.